What up, Huck Squad, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thursday. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is talking about what I wish I knew when I started playing disc golf. Now, it's 2021. I've been playing disc golf since 2010, going on 11 years now, which is just absolutely crazy to me. I started playing when I was a sophomore in high school. The learning curve back then was a lot different than the learning curve now. Now you have young kids who can binge everything on YouTube for a couple months and really change that learning curve a lot quicker than someone like me when I started back in 2010. I threw one disc for like 4 years and it was a Star Wraith, and I just threw it on like these big flex forehands all the time. What we're gonna be doing is just talking about things that I wish I had known back then to kind of like change the learning curve a little bit. So hope you guys enjoy this quick and easy 3-Minute Thursday. Drop a sub if you do, drop a like if you enjoy, and yeah, hopefully one of these tips will help you out. And these tips aren't going to be in any like specific order from most important to least important, just going to be a bunch of tips that we're going to go through. But the first tip is to make sure that you stretch when you show up to start your round. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm 6'4", and when I was growing, I had a lot of growing pains in all my muscles and stuff. And when you go out and play a round, you really want to make sure that you're nice and loose before you start. How I start my stretches normally when I show up is I work from the head all the way down, and I usually only take literally 3 to 5 minutes to get this done. I do some neck rolls, backward circles with each arm, then I'll do forward circles with each arm. This one here where you pull your arm across your chest. I like to do some torso twists to get like my torso and my abs nice and loose. One of the most important stretches actually that I really like, and some people might not have the balance for it so you can hold on to something, but you take your ankle and you put it right on your knee, and then you crouch down and you try to get that knee that's in the air to go down. And what it does is it stretches out your hip flexor, which is right here, which is really useful for when you're throwing hard, but both forehand and backhand. Hamstring stretch, calf stretch. And I even do have a resistance band. So a little bit of resistance so it gets my muscles a little bit going. I know it kind of sounds like a lot, but when you get in the routine of it, it literally only takes like 3 to 5 minutes, and then you just feel so much better before you start your round. So make sure to stretch before you start your round. It really does help, and it really helps prevent injury as well. It took me like 5 years, maybe 6 years, to start actually going to leagues and going to tournaments. So my friend Ted and I were just at the practice basket at Borderland one day, and Eric Wilson, actually, any of you locals, came up, and he's like, yo, you guys should come out to league later on tonight. And that started the snowball effect of meeting everybody in the community, getting that competitive itch that you don't really get in a casual round, you know, supporting your courses with local tag leagues. It gets you playing around people that are better than you so you can learn from them. What you can do if you don't know how to get involved with leagues is whatever 5 closest courses are to you, go to Facebook, type in that course, and then just type in, you know, Borderland Doubles League, Borderland Singles League, Borderland League, and I guarantee out of the 5 closest courses to you, if you do that, you'll find 2 to 3 leagues just on Facebook that you can join the group, figure out all the information, and then start going to league. So that is a huge one. Start going to league, start competing in tournaments. Even if you're starting in rec or like AM2, you really want to get out there and start competing. Tip number 3 is learning how to throw slower discs like putters and mid-ranges, but with a fan grip and still throw them really hard. What I recommend is to pinch where your thumb and your index finger kind of like are jointed on the disc. You want to pinch right there, but you want to let your other fan fingers just stay pretty loose. But you can pinch pretty hard, and I actually throw like full power shots with my putters and my mid-ranges with a fan grip. Most of the time you're going to have to throw them on a slight bit of hyzer so that they can flip up and then glide straight. And that was a big part of changing my game, is learning how to throw a putter or a mid-range so that it finishes straight and flat, so that you're not dealing with the inconsistencies of trying to continuously S-curve a driver and manage where it's going to skip to. So honestly, that's a huge tip. Throw slower, but throw them hard. So the next tip is to film yourself. Now, you don't need to bring your camera to a course and film yourself on the entire course, but even just going to your local field, bringing your practice basket and filming yourself throwing up shots, throwing, you know, drives, actually putting in circle 1, film yourself, because you never know what you look like playing until you film yourself playing. Everyone who's on the vlog for the first time, or who gets in front of the camera for the first time, are always like, oh, I've never seen myself throw, like my form is so ugly. So get yourself uncomfortable, put yourself in front of your camera. You're not gonna even have to post it anywhere. You can literally just look at it for yourself, and you can even just compare it to professionals' forms, like your favorite pro or someone that you want to emulate. So filming yourself and really dissecting your form and figuring out what you're doing wrong is huge. You could even take some of those videos and send them over to someone who's in your area who's better than you, like a local pro, and have them dissect your game. So filming yourself is really, really important to just see what you look like while you throw, because nobody's going to tell you that your form is ugly. So you got to look at it yourself and make that judgment call and kind of tweak things that you need to tweak along the way. It's starting to get hot out here. It is like 85 degrees, unbelievably humid. I am like sweating bullets already. Next tip is to learn how to play every single lie. And this is going to get you ready for like tournaments and leagues, because when you're brand new, a lot of the time you don't play the bad lies. You'll have a lie that's in the woods, or like deep in the woods, or just in, you know, brush or thicket like this. And you just pick your lie up and you bring yourself out to the fairway so that you have a clean look at the basket. But when you're playing in leagues and when you're playing in tournaments, that stuff doesn't really fly. So when you're brand new, I recommend just learning the rules and learning how to play every lie. There are going to be times where if you're like brand spanking new first 3 rounds, it's not a big deal to put yourself in the fairway. But if you're enjoying the game and you really want to get good and get competitive, learn the rules and learn how to play every single lie the best of your ability. So if I was like right here in this thicket, I don't have much here, and I kind of have to read what I have. I could do a backhand where I hang it out wide to the right there, but it's kind of a tight gap and a tight angle. So for me as a forehand player, I like to put my left foot on the lie and bring myself way out here. It opens up my angle to the basket and it gives me a much better forehand shot. Wrapping up the video with the last tip, and this one is actually kind of a little bit like a next step above the beginner tips, but it's to focus on a specific, kind of like an invisible rectangle in midair, usually like anywhere between 50 to 100 feet off the tee pad, to imagine that be the spot where your disc goes through at a certain speed and a certain angle. So you got to make sure to make the right disc selection, and then I want to hit that invisible box on the right speed and on the right angle. Now this also comes down to knowing your discs, which is going to come down to field work and practicing and really knowing the flights of your discs. But once you know the flights of your discs, you can think, okay, if this disc is going this fast on this angle, what is it going to do? And that is what I'm doing every single time I throw. I'm making the right disc selection with what I think is the best line, and then I'm finding an invisible rectangle in midair 100 feet off the tee pad, and I'm aiming to get my disc to go through that as if it was going through like a hula hoop. So you really want to pick an aim point. And on a wooded hole like this, you can't even see the basket. But even on a hole where you can see the basket, you don't really want to fall in the trap of staring at the basket as you're doing your run up, because you're really not trying to throw at basket height. You want to find a spot in the air that's a little bit higher, that you know if your disc hits that rectangle on a certain speed, on a certain angle, that's the shot that you're looking for. It is a little bit of a more advanced tip, but it really helps dial in your shot selection and your aim points. So right now I'm aiming just, I don't know, I'll zoom in for you actually. I'm aiming like pretty much right at this tree right here. Just that big circle of leaves, that's pretty much my aim point. So it's not necessarily the rectangle, but it's that big chunk of leaves right there. So let's see how accurate I can be. Probably not that accurate. You know, when you hype up a shot, it usually doesn't go as you planned. Ooh. Okay. And that was a little bit lower than I wanted, and actually my foot got caught on a stump over here on my follow through. But you can see exactly what I mean. I'm aiming at that. I'm not aiming to try to park the basket. I'm aiming to hit my specific aim point in midair. So I really hope that all these tips were able to help you guys. It was fun to put together a video like this. I kind of wish that I had a video like this to shortened the learning curve when I first started. So if this video did help you, make sure to drop a like, make sure to drop a sub. And one more thing actually, when I get home, I got a little bit of a wrap-up surprise to finish on, so see you guys at the apartment. So in last week's 3-Minute Thursday, I lost my go-to favorite DD3 and actually had a viewer named Chris from the Pacific Northwest reach out to me on Instagram and send me a brand new DD3. Does have a little bit of ink on the bottom, but it's been unthrown. 167 gram, I think he said. Absolute bomber. Thank you so much for this, Chris. You're the man for sending this out. I really do appreciate it.